Some couples shouldn't make it down the aisle. And that is a really bold statement, and I stand by it. And I truly, truly believe that if people were to really understand what marriage was all about, two things would happen. One of them being that the people who are together right now wouldn't make it down the aisle. And that is not necessarily a bad thing. And that's what I want to talk about today. Let me ask you something. When you hear marriage prep, what comes to mind? Right? Maybe what comes to mind is a few videos, a one-day retreat, maybe a meeting with your pastor, and maybe you think of it as something to check off, right? It's a to-do that you have to do, so you just want to check it off and be done with it. I get it. That's what most people experience. And to be honest, I think that this is one of the most heartbreaking gaps in the church that we see today, because I believe with everything in me that marriage prep should be life-changing, not just something to get through. And so in this video, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about why this matters, why I do what I do, and why you should care even if you're not engaged yet. So let's dive in. Hi, if we haven't met yet, my name is Laura Jean. I'm the founder of Let's Be Saints Co. and a voice for millennial and Gen Z Catholics who are just tired of casual flings, terrible advice, and relationships that lead nowhere. And they're really ready to say yes to a marriage, a relationship that deserves their yes. With a background in marriage and family theology and years of formation work, I bridge the gap between what the church teaches and what we're experiencing in our everyday life over text, on apps, and in every situation where our desire for love intersects with our call to holiness. Now, let's be honest. The world has lost the map when it comes to love. It tells you to follow your heart, but never teaches you how not to be a slave to it. It teaches you independence, but never shows you how to build real intimacy. And this is a problem because that is what we need for this relationship that we're dreaming about. And I'm here to tell you that there is a better way, a way that leads to real intimacy, real commitment, and a love that reflects the heart of God. That's what I'm here to help you build. And that's why in today's video, we are going to talk about a much needed wake-up call that I think a lot of us and a lot of those who are romantics at heart need to hear. I didn't start my business or creating resources for Catholic couples because I thought this was going to be a fun career path. I started it because I saw the war. I saw the war on love. I saw the war on marriage, the war on truth. In search of answers in all of this, I started diving deep into scripture and the teaching of the church and the theology of the body. And the more I learned, the more convinced I became. And so I went off to grad school to study marriage and family theology to learn all that I could about this so that I could be part of the change that I wanted to see in the world when it comes to marriage. And I realized something that no one is talking about. Literally, I never hear this anywhere. And that is that most people walk into marriage so unprepared. And they don't even know it. Now, here's what I believe with my whole heart. If people really, really knew what marriage was all about, if they saw the breadth and the depth and the beauty that marriage really contains, they would live it differently. There wouldn't be any other option but to live it differently. And I don't mean in a romanticized, aesthetic, Catholic power couple kind of way. I mean in a deep, grounded, resilient kind of way. If we really understood what we were saying yes to at the altar, two things would happen. Number one, couples would fight so much harder for their marriages. Why is this the case? Because they would know what's really at stake. They would understand that marriage isn't just a love story. It is a mission. It is a vocation. It is their path to holiness. It is so much bigger than just them and their selfish desires. And two, people wouldn't marry the people that they're currently considering. Yes, essentially more breakups. And I know that sounds harsh, and I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this because it might save you. If more people had the clarity, courage, and formation that it takes to really evaluate their relationship, they would walk away instead of walking down the aisle. And I'm not saying this to scare you, but I'm saying this because it might save you. We live in a world that is obsessed with the wedding day, with the playlist, the dress, the Instagrammable moments, right? And even inside the church, we reduce marriage prep to a checkbox, right? Something to just get over, a few videos, a one-day retreat. But no wedding, no matter how beautiful, can carry a marriage where the couple comes in unprepared. It just can't. And it's not just a theory, by the way. We're actually seeing these results. 80% of couples that end in divorce ended their marriage because they didn't know what they were getting into. That is literally the reason that they stated. That is not just tragic, that is avoidable. And it starts with how we think about this foundation of marriage that we're building. Marriage prep isn't a formality, right? It's not some hoop to jump through. It is the foundation, a very necessary foundation, might I add, to building a life and a marriage and a family that can last. Because here's the truth. Marriage doesn't just require love. It requires a strong foundation. Not necessarily teaching that shames or lectures, but formation that helps you know yourself, see your relationship clearly, and be able to say yes or no from a place of truth rather than fear or pressure, right? This isn't about guilt, it's about freedom. You deserve to walk into your vocation with your eyes wide open and your heart fully ready to receive the gift, the beauty, and the responsibility of this vocation. I want to challenge you to think about marriage not as a social milestone, not as the next step in the Catholic couple's journey. It's not about being #relationship goals, right? It's a vocation. It is a path to heaven. It is a covenant between man, woman, and God. And when we start treating it this way, when we see it with reverence and intentionality and the depth that it deserves, everything changes. Because at that point, we're not just preparing for a wedding day, we're preparing for every day after, for the friendship, for the partnership, for the seasons of joy and the seasons of suffering, for the children that you may be blessed with, for the home that you create together, for the way that your love becomes a witness to the world, for the legacy of love that you leave for generations to come. That is what marriage prep is all about. So if you're engaged or even just hope to be someday, I want you to start asking different questions. Not just how many months until the big day, but rather, what kind of life are we building? What kind of love are we forming? Do we know really what we're saying yes to? Because you can have the perfect venue, the dream photos, the most beautiful liturgy, and still be unprepared for the actual marriage. And I don't want that for you. I want something deeper, something real, something holy. And if you're thinking, okay, Lord Sheen, I want that same thing too. Okay, I'm in, but I don't know where to start. Well, I've got you. You're in the right place. What I have created here at Let's Be Saints Co. is that one-stop shop for all of this marriage prep to really have you prepared for everything that is to come. So I encourage you to check out my website to learn more and see all the ways that you can start building this strong foundation for this marriage that will last your lifetime starting today. But before we leave this video, I want to leave you with this one nugget to really chew on. Marriage prep isn't something just to get through. It is the thing that will set your marriage apart. Now, if this video stirred something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment. I'd also love to hear what other things that you wish someone had taught you about marriage. Leave comments, or what you're learning now that's changing the way that you see it. I'd love to hear. And make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss anything coming down the line. And if you have friends who are engaged or who are close to getting engaged, please share this video with them so that they too can start building really strong foundations for their marriages. That marriage that you're praying and hoping for one day to come and be part of your life, it starts here. It starts with you. It starts with building this foundation. Don't run away from it. Run towards it full steam ahead. I'm cheering for you.